Usalama pigo kendi senye zole Usalama pigo kendi senye zole
Radio Kahuzi, broadcasting in the Democratic Republic of Congo since 1991.
Usalama pigo kendi senye zole Usalama pigo kendi senye zole Awuzimba emhlabeni Kuzimele zele Awuzimba emhlabeni Kuzimba
In the heart of Africa lies the Democratic Republic of Congo, a land formed by the Master Maker's hand, a land of beauty, and yet a land ravaged by the horrors of war, where militias perform atrocities unspeakable, where women's rights are repeatedly violated and children are enlisted to war, where machetes and guns recreate the massacre of the innocents. In this land, a voice carries through the skies, falling upon those who have ears to hear, a voice of hope, of love, of peace. Rich and Kathy MacDonald formed Radio Kahuzi in 1991, when by the grace of God, the President of Zaire allowed them the first religious broadcasting license for the nation. Since 1991, Radio Kahuzi has been broadcasting the gospel continuously despite years of war. The beauty of Radio Kahuzi is that it's not just broadcasting a signal into the skies. It is there to make sure it is received on the ground. Through a series of radio clubs, listeners have been organized to take action in various social activities. Club members assist each other as well as work together to better their economic condition. Radio clubs have been formed for the blind, disabled, children, humanitarian aid projects, distance learning, and others. A typical broadcast for Radio Kahuzi consists of gospel messages, along with music, regional news, agricultural information, and distance education programs. Through generous donations of solar-powered Galcom radios, virtually anyone can have access to the wealth of information and organization of Radio Kahuzi. These radios are preset to the station's signal and cannot be used for other purposes. A single Galcom radio can bring the gospel to a radio club of 20 to 200 members daily. Your generous support is needed to ensure the future of Radio Kahuzi's ministry in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Hello, this is Adrian Rogers. Love Worth Finding is heard each day on hundreds of radio stations in over 150 countries around the world. But none are more important than the missionary outreach of Radio Kahuzi in the Congo. With shortwave and FM broadcasts, this outreach into the heart of Africa reaches over 3.5 million people who need to know about Jesus. Since 1994, Love Worth Finding has been telling this troubled part of the world that Jesus Christ is Lord. Radio Kahuzi is run faithfully by Rich and Kathy MacDonald. They have been in the direct line of fire many times during the genocide in neighboring Rwanda and the civil wars that rage in that area. They have suffered greatly for their faith, but they have been steadfast in their calling. As you must realize, independent missionary radio ministries have no method of raising funds from the African listening audience. All of Radio Kahuzi's support comes from a handful of faithful donors here in the States. The MacDonalds have not left the station even for medical checkups since 1992, and their support is dwindling, with older donors going on to glory. Please consider what you can do to help raise funding to keep Radio Kahuzi on the air for Christ throughout that war-torn region of the world. I would like to ask you from my heart to consider this request. If you enjoy Love Worth Finding, would you help Radio Kahuzi to share the same messages with millions of fellow Christians and also those who are yet to be saved in Africa? Frankly, you'll never know the impact of your support until you meet them in heaven. But the need is real, and it's very important. We take for granted the hearing of the gospel in this country while others suffer so deeply and long for a single word of encouragement. We have the word of life. Let's share it together. God bless you as you prayerfully give and pray for Radio Kahuzi.